Hi, Kyle, and thanks for a thought-provoking question regarding Waltz's interview. So to begin, I do agree that we're moving from a more unipolar world, where the US was the unquestioned hegemonic power, to a more multipolar one, where the arrangements of power are more diffuse, and the possibility of competition increases. Although I think it's important to note, and certainly Waltz within his interview notes this as well, that the decline is one in relative terms, as the rest, such as China and the European Union, for instance, become more powerful. But the US is still powerful in absolute terms, militarily, economically, and certainly diplomatically. But I think we are heading toward a more competitive scenario in which nations perceive fewer things as global goods, and as a consequence of that, it's much more difficult to advance an international agenda because we're seeing the divergence of states' goals and interests rather than a convergence. I don't think this is inevitable, going back to first Waltz in the previous reading. I think what happens next depends to a large extent on the aggregate decisions of different states, how they strategize, whether or not they choose to develop a more cooperative ethic with their neighbors, and so forth. So I think we are in a situation now where the pressures are building up, and that can certainly be geopolitically disruptive. But we're not quite at the point where what happens is, destiny, that we're, destined to go down a certain path toward more competition between states. But we do have to find ways to maximize cooperation in a more multipolar world rather than falling to that trap of incessant competition between states. So thanks for your question.